Wow, $9,000 off. That's cheaper than anywhere I've seen. Dang, I need to go down there and check that out.
A few moments later.
Hi, come on and have a seat. Yeah, hey, I saw you guys had that Ram 1500 crew cab in red. It was like $9,000 off on the website, so I just want to check on that. Well, yeah, sure. Well, let's just make sure that you qualify for the discounts that you're seeing on our website. Let's take a look at the rebate sheet. Are you in the military? No. Are you a member of the FFA? No. Are you in a lease? No. Would you happen to be a farmer? No, I'm not a farmer. What about a member of the National Association of Women Business Owners? Oh, come on, man. Really? Well, you never know in today's world. Are you a realtor? I'm not a realtor. Are you an employee? Come on, really? Does it look like I work here? Okay. Well, if you don't qualify for any of those rebates, then the price is going to be $9,000 more than what it shows on the website. What? Well, we also have a $699 dealer fee, a $199 document prep fee, and a $399 vehicle preparation fee. So, would you like to take that home with you today? How can you guys even charge that much? How do you get away with this? These right here.
If you're looking for a new car and you've shopped online, you probably know what I'm talking about. And it's an unfortunate thing that just about every dealer does. But that's what we're going to talk about today. New car prices are fake. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't seen my videos, go check them out on the Hellcat. And welcome to the first installment of buying a car better. What I'm going to be doing is going over just kind of the ins and outs of the car business and how you may be able to buy a car better, make it less stressful, prepare yourself to have a more pleasant experience. Basically anything else that I can give you to try to help just, cut all the fluff and get right down to business. It's unfortunate that over the years, the car business has been such a thing that's shrouded in mystery. Unless you've worked in the business or industry, that's just kind of how it still is. Now, you would think that the internet would help change all that, but it's almost done the opposite. The way dealers price cars online is very misleading, and I can say this because I work for a dealership that doesn't do that. We actually price our cars literally what the price will be when you get in the dealership. We don't have any dealer fees. A lot of, probably 99% of dealers have some sort of dealer fee, document prep fee, car delivery fee. They make up all kinds of stuff. But at our dealership, which is Wells Motor Company in Avon Park, Florida, we don't do any of that. So this is something that I deal with on a daily basis. People comparing prices to ours, and at first glance ours might seem higher because we don't do all of that. We don't put in all the rebates that nobody qualifies for. We have no dealer fees, so we don't have to, sure, somebody could lower their price $1,000 less than ours, but if they're going to charge $1,000 dealer fee when you get in there, well, what's the difference really? You just went through all that headache just to find out that that's what they stick on you at the very end. So what do you do? What I'm going to do today is try to help you navigate the shady waters of the internet. Don't shop by price. That's the first thing. Just don't do it, because it's all fake. What you have to do is just look for vehicles that you want. Now, what you can normally do, what I suggest is, find the vehicles that you want on a certain, couple websites. Always, I would recommend doing at least 3 dealers. And depending on whether you're going to lease or you're going to buy, you might have to drive to get this deal. So, if you have to look at a state or something like that, totally up to you, but it's going to help in this process. What you want to do is find 3 vehicles that are very similar to what you want. Color doesn't matter, but make sure the options are the same. Now, what you can usually do when you go to the website is you can pull a window sticker of that car, like the actual window sticker of the vehicle. Usually if you're on their website, if you look over on the right side, scroll down a little bit, you can usually find a link to the window sticker. What you're going to want to do is download those window stickers and then compare them to the other models that you're looking at. That way you can get a baseline on the MSRP. So I know what you're saying, oh, we don't shop by MSRP, but for what I'm going to tell you, just do that. That way you can at least compare apples to apples, or you know the reason why the price might be higher or lower. So once you find a few vehicles that are similar to what you want, or at least have all the features that you want, break it down and look at the features that it has, and make sure you subtract for the features it doesn't have, or add for the features that it does have, because the dealer does pay for that too. So let's just say you have your 3 cars that you like and they're at different dealers. What I would recommend doing, just to save yourself a bunch of time and hassle, is contact those dealers via email, usually the internet manager, which is what I am, and ask for an out-the-door price. And going into it, let them know, do you have a tag to transfer, or do you need a new tag, and what your zip code is. They're probably going to ask for address, things like that, your name. That's no problem, but they should be able to get you an out the door and email it to you. Now, I do this every day. A lot of dealers won't do that, but you've got to stress that they can if they really wanted to. Their managers don't want them to do it because they want you to be in the dealership. They want you to be in the showroom. So just keep at it, and if they're adamant that they won't give you an out the door price, well, then just don't do business with that dealership unless you really want to go down to the dealership and get it, or they happen to be the only dealer that has exactly what you're looking at, which doesn't help your case. That's a whole other story. It's tough. But once you have these out the doors, that's going to give you everything that they have to put on. What you do is you say you're going to do your own financing. Now, it doesn't matter if you really are or not, but say, hey, I need an out the door, I'm doing my own financing. They have to do that because basically they have to put the VIN number, they have to put all their fees, they have to put all their taxes, and they have to actually give you the real price of the car. At that point, they may ask you, hopefully they ask you, if you qualify for any of the rebates. You'll quickly see how that price you saw on the website is totally changed from the one they actually send you. If you do a little bit more research as well, you can find out what the current rebates are by going to the manufacturer's website. So, Dodge.com, Jeep.com, Chevy.com. Go ahead and build your car exactly the way that you want it, and at the very end, it'll show you what rebates are currently available. Now, it's going to show you rebates that are available to everybody, not the conditional rebates. Conditional rebates are things like military, if you are a farm owner, or you're a realtor. If you have a different brand vehicle that you're trading in, there might be extra money for that. So once you have these out the doors, you can compare actual real life prices. If you've got one dealer that's okay minus the features, they're pretty close. Well, then you know that that's a legitimate real life price for that vehicle. If you've got another dealer over here that is $1,000 off from all the other ones, well, then you know that they're just kind of trying to gross you or get more money. Now, you can negotiate down to the other prices that the other dealers have, because you do have a price from the other dealers. Now, if you don't see any dealer fees, what you want to do is ask if they have any dealer fees, and you can usually tell by going to the website. Again, what you want to do is on their vehicle page where it's showing the vehicle that you want, or any vehicle on their website, you can scroll to the very bottom, and I say do this on just about every website you go to. Scroll to the very bottom, and it's going to show usually if they have a dealer fee, a prep fee, document fee. Any of that stuff is going to be at the very bottom. It's also going to tell you that this pricing includes employee pricing, or it includes conquest lease cash, or you might not even be trying to lease. You might not even have a trade-in, so that means that you would have to have a competitive vehicle to trade in on a new lease. So, and that could be worth $1,000 off of the price of the vehicle. So that's the first thing that I would recommend: getting prices from a few dealers, out the doors, and then comparing, making sure you go to the website, check, see how they're pricing the vehicles if you want to do that as well. Now that's going to give you some firepower to basically know where to go next. So I'm going to try to break this up as much as I can, because I could probably talk for hours about how to buy a car better. So that was section 1, is what you should start with, and how they price vehicles online. You just don't shop by price, because it absolutely means nothing. So we'll switch over to step 2. All right, there's another thing that you need to look out for, and why I kind of recommended going to a website and downloading their window sticker. I've seen some places, matter of fact, when I was shopping for my car as well, and it's the only reason I didn't get it from my dealer is because we didn't have any. There's bump stickers, they call them. So basically, they will start the MSRP, or the retail price, over what it actually is. So when they're giving that big discount, it's technically not as much of a discount, because they've priced the car higher than what it really should be. If you do not see a window sticker on a dealer's website, contact the dealer and ask them to send you the actual window sticker of the vehicle. They have access to them digitally, and don't let them tell you otherwise. If they're being that difficult, then just go somewhere else. I know it might stink, and if it's the only vehicle in your area that you absolutely have to deal with, you're probably going to have to go down to the dealer. Just make sure that you look at the MSRP on the actual window sticker of the vehicle. When you're comparing the price that they give you on paper, make sure it matches up, because those discounts, tend to disappear that way. Now, again, when you're looking at the buyer's order, make sure that they don't scribble stuff on paper too. I see it happen so many times that, they'll come out with, if you have a car, okay, well, what is this car out the door? They'll go to the back, they'll scribble down on a piece of paper what the out the door is. Well, that's a bunch of crap. They can make a buyer's order or a worksheet for you that breaks everything down. Make sure you get the breakdown. If they won't do it, you just need to move on, unfortunately. But they have no problem of breaking it down for you. It should show the MSRP, it should show the discount off of MSRP, it should show the rebates that they're currently giving to you. It might not detail the rebates, but you can always ask them about that. Which brings you to the actual price of the vehicle. Below that, or to the side, you should have your taxes, you should have any dealer fees. All that stuff should be listed. And then if you have a trade, the price for your trade. If you have a payoff on the trade, that should be there as well, giving you your bottom line figure. Now, that's also something that you should have in mind when you're going to do this. Like if you've looked up your trade price and all that, which I'll tell you about later, you should know about what your bottom line should be. So anyway, make sure you somehow figure out what the actual MSRP of the vehicle is. If it's a Dodge vehicle, shoot me the last 8 of the VIN and I'll hook it up for you and let you know. Leave a comment below. Okay, so I'll go on to the trade. If you have a trade, now this can be a tricky thing, but if you do your research, it doesn't really have to be. When you go to kellybluebook.com, I would just do a good rating on it. So, put in all your features and everything and do a good rating. Now do this from another site as well, like Edmunds. If you can do it from just about at least 3 of those sites, that gives you a trade-in estimate, and then you take those 3 prices and average them. And if you went to school, hopefully you know how to do that. You take all 3 prices. If your car is worth 15 on one site, 16 on the other, and 14 on the other, well, you would take the 14, the 15, and the 16, add up that number, and then divide it by how many prices you got, which was 3. That gives you your average. So now that you have that average, at least you have an idea of what your vehicle should be worth in the real world setting. Now, of course, if you've got bald tires, and you put great condition, they're going to take off for that. If you've got a dent in the quarter panel, they're going to take off for that. This is all based on clean cars, tires that are good enough to be a used tire. Basically, all they have to do is change the oil, do a safety check, and they can sell the car again. So that's what you need to base that price off of. That way, at least when you're going in and they put $13,000 down for your trade, but you've done everything and it's come up at least averaging 15, you know there's some room to negotiate in there. And you can you don't even have to really bring it up to them, but you just know in your head that that's what they know too. So try to do as much research as you can on the trade-in value of your car. When we're doing trades at our dealership, we have a couple different sources that we use, and it's pretty straightforward. We have the auction, we have Kelley Blue Book, we have Black Book, and NADA. So we basically just add in all the features, look at what the prices are, take away for condition, maybe extra mileage, that sort of thing, and then we just present the number that we found. You can do basically the same thing. So, and we put the straight numbers down, and a lot of dealers don't. So try to do as much research as you can on your trade, and fair research, just to make it fair to everybody. So that's what you should do for your trade-in, and we'll move on to the next thing. As far as the financing side, if you need to get financing for the vehicle, again, do your own research. If you've got a credit union or a bank, find out what their going rates are right now. They usually have, most banks have a spreadsheet or a chart that goes by credit score, and they will say what the rate around should be for the term. So you can shop a couple banks. You don't necessarily have to do a credit app. Most banks say, hey, you can call them and say, hey, I've got a 700 credit score, I've got a 680 credit score, I've got a 740 credit score. What would a 60-month term be, or a 72-month term? What's the interest rate? So then when you go to the dealer, it's not necessarily true that they always bump the rates, or they're the worst to do that. Can they, and do they have the power? Yes. But as long as you know what a fair rate should be, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't get financed from the dealership. So if you found out that, okay, well, this bank and this bank and this bank, their averages are right around 3.79, we'll just know that going in. So when they come back with 4.5, you can say, hey, look, I've got local banks that I've already gotten 3 of them that told me they can do 3.9%. Can you match that? Can you get close to that? There's actually banks out there that they usually have that will match other banks' rates. And again, the dealer wants you to finance it through them. The whole cash is king thing does not work with dealerships. They actually get a kickback from financing the vehicle. It's actually a considerable amount of money for them. Sometimes they make more on the financing than they are on the actual vehicle, and that's true. So they do want you to finance. So if you say you're going to go finance with somebody else, they're losing a decent chunk of money. You can negotiate the rate. Don't let anybody tell you that you can't. But just be prepared for what that rate should be. If you're trying to, if no bank in existence is giving out a 2.9, but you're demanding a 2.9, well, there's a good chance you're not going to get a 2.9. So have some, do some research, have a couple interest rates in mind, and as long as they can get close or to that interest rate, then there's no problem with financing at the dealer. It's going to be a lot less of a headache. I know it sounds weird, but it's going to be a lot less of a headache than going to your bank, bringing the buyer's order, having to bring everything up there. It usually takes days to get it done at a bank when it gets done in minutes at a dealership, and you could be driving away that day. Just have everything planned in your head, what it should be. On to the next. Okay, one last thing to end this video, and it kind of goes with what I said on the last section. You've got to be real. There's some people that think that there's magic to the car business, and it's unfortunate because the dealers have made it seem like it's magical. With the deals they can do or the prices that happen, and it's all a facade. There's no magic, and what I mean by that is about all this research you're doing. So you've got to be real with what you're bringing to the table, or it's just going to frustrate you and the person you're dealing with even more. There's some people that just think, oh, well, if I come in and I demand, I don't want to be more than $350 a month on this car, they'll do it. They need to sell a car. There's very, very rare instances where that can happen when you've got the perfect trifecta, you're at the end of the month, that kind of stuff. But on a day-to-day basis, if you've got a $30,000 car and you're trying to pay $350 a month for it. Well, and you've got no money down, and your credit is okay. Well, it's not going to work. If you should always at least take the money that you're trying to finance. If it's $30,000, over 60 months, you take 30,000 divided by 60, and it's 500. So if you're trying to get it for 350, and you haven't even added in taxes, whether or not you're upside down on a trade, and then any kind of dealer fees or interest, how do you you can't expect that to happen. So you've got to be a little realistic when it comes to all this stuff. So I think that's the last PSA I could probably do. It's all about doing your own research, and I know that there's people that don't want to do this, but you're obviously doing it if you're watching this video. So hopefully you're getting something out of this. Hopefully you stay tuned to the next video in the series. I'm going to just be going through as much information as I can, and on buying cars, leasing cars, whether or not you should buy or lease, depending on your current situation. And I'm going to be going through some of those situations that people might have, the situations that I've actually seen. If you're upside down in a car, what you can do. And I'll even probably go into some credit help or what you can do to better your credit score. Because honestly, I've been up and down myself. I've been, started when I was, 18, got a few credit cards, built it up, got my own car completely by myself by the time I was 20. That was my SRT4. No co-signers on anything. And when 2008 happened, which was, for those people who aren't old enough, there was a little bit of a recession. The commission at my job went away, and I had to let everything go. I tanked. Finally, when I got a better job, I paid everything off and got my credit back up. So I've been to the bottom of the barrel, and I've been at the top. So I know how it is, and I know how to get there. So I can help you with that as well. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you got something out of it. If you've got any questions, just leave a comment below, and I'll try to get to them as soon as I can. I do work 50 to 60 hours at the dealership, but I'd love to help out. Again, if you like the video, make sure to subscribe and stay tuned for more videos.